All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and we have a response from the Bungie team in regards to this huge controversy that has now come up in regards to Bungie nerfing Eager Edge in the most recent hotfix. For whatever reason, this came out of nowhere. There was no transparency about this, and we have Bungie's community manager DMG actually making a post because Bungie is getting a ton of heat right now. This is obviously lit up all over Reddit, Twitter, and everywhere on social media because people are just genuinely unhappy about this. There are some people that are happy about it though. Sound off in the comments if you are celebrating the Eager Edge nerf, but I think a good majority are unhappy about this. We'll see. We'll see how the community's response is. And DMG is actually responding here on Twitter with this. Enhanced Eager Edge team was finding numerous issues where the perk could be used to skip encounters, which is a really interesting thing. I don't know that Eager Edge could actually skip any encounters the way that encounters are designed inside Destiny 2. If you skip encounters, you don't like gain any loot or benefit from it, like in the raid or something. And if the only encounters I can think of that you could skip would be like jumping puzzles and stuff, which is, I don't know, it seems a bit odd to actually nerf it for that reason. Break mechanics, which again, I don't really know of any specific mechanics that could be broken due to Eager Edge. Maybe you know in the comments below, but I've been using this technique for a while now, and I don't really see it breaking any specific mechanics and generally cause issues with the game. I could see there being some issues with the game here and there, but nothing that's of like notable mention, nothing that's like truly game breaking and it having adverse effects on the community, which is the issue that people have is that why are you adjusting something in the game that's kind of just fun to do and actually creates like some a fun like kind of small skill gap in the game, learning how to do this technique and utilizing it inside various different PvE encounters. Have a couple notes from my perspective on where we'd like to improve moving forward. He then goes on to say, comms aside, we always seek call out changes like this ahead of time, while also providing the dev commentary slash insight to keep you in the loop. With that hotfixes coming more quickly as of late, this slipped through. We're talking to the team on how we can better prep in the future. Two, timing wise, some changes can be developed rather quickly, but held for future hotfixes slash patches, so they aren't felt to be as targeted. If this were in a seasonal patch with a bunch of weapon slash ability changes, it would still sting, but general buffs could help the overall mood, which is true. I mean, getting a harsh nerf like this wouldn't feel as harsh if there were some buffs to some other things, perhaps, or maybe some other elements of Eager Edge. When it comes to this specific change, there wasn't a rush on the part of the dev side. It just happened to be assigned to this hotfix, got the appropriate test pass, and went out the door. We'll be talking to the team about the timing for changes like this moving forward as well. Ending this little string of tweets, will repeat myself in saying thank you to many players who have reached out with constructive feedback and illustrating their gut reactions in respectful ways. It helps a ton when bringing your voices to the development table. So there you have it. That is their opinion of the Eager Edge change. One thing that I think that's important to note with this is that this didn't actually adjust shatter skating or well skating, which is like the fastest, most like broken, quote unquote, broken movement of this entire Eager Edge, right? Right now, the part that they nerfed is that where you can swing the sword two times on the ground if your feet touch the ground, or a third time if you have enhanced Eager Edge. So this doesn't actually fix the like I guess the what you would call the broken mechanic of this. I imagine that's probably on the table for Bungie to do soon, and when they do so, people are going to be very upset. There's actually a really great Reddit post out right now that actually illustrates a whole ton of issues that I want to cover because a lot of people don't quite realize how severe this nerf has been and the sort of the downside to this nerf. So I want to cover this because I imagine a lot of you are watching this thinking like, "Hey, I don't use the eager edge skate. I don't like it. I don't care. I think it is maybe game breaking. Maybe you're, just a more casual player that never really used this technique. So let's go ahead and cover some of these points because I think it might change your mind. We'll see. If a player is griefed by someone else using eager edge to push them off a cliff, that player cannot use eager edge to recover because they hit the velocity cap. So what happens now is that if someone swaps to their sword and launches you off the edge of a cliff, what you could do before is you could eager edge back to save yourself. You could turn around, pull out your sword, and then swing back, and it would save yourself. But now, because you hit the velocity cap immediately, you're just launched into oblivion and you're killed. So this will potentially increase griefing. I don't know how many people are really saving themselves too much with eager edge, but if you had an eager edge sword on, you could save yourself from people griefing you, and that was an issue that's now been ruined because like you can't save yourself anymore because you hit the velocity cap. What they did is they made it so if you pull out your sword with eager edge, it slows you down. Eager edge now automatically deactivates when the player enters a launch cannon or stands on top of a sufficiently fast-moving platform. So your movement, if you're moving too fast, it actually won't proc eager edge. It's kind of an issue. This works with this bugs out a little bit with sparrows on that. So I know that's the way they are intending things to work because they're trying to slow down the movement with it. If you're at maximum velocity, pull out your sword, it slows you down. Eager Edge can still be swiped multiple times in a single activation if you have 0 ammo. So you can actually have no ammo and you can still do the double Eager Edge swing. So that's kind of a weird bug with that. The velocity cap includes vertical velocity, so falling deactivates the perk. So if you're actually falling at the fastest velocity, you can't Eager Edge out of that anymore. The velocity cap includes, we got in PvP, if you use Eager Edge to lunge and kill an opponent, in many cases your momentum stops quickly enough to not trigger the velocity cap, allowing you to lunge again anyways. So it still works in PvP. I don't know if you're aware of that or if you've seen the clips of that, but it does still work in PvP, which I'm not sure if they were trying to nerf this just for PvE or if that's working as intended, but we'll see. Simply pulling out an Eager Edge sword when your velocity is higher than this hard cap immediately slows you to a crawl or outright stops your lateral movement regardless of the source of your momentum. Again, an issue that I mentioned. In addition to all the typical complaints about Eager Edge, either still stand or never made sense to begin with, every single method to go out of bounds is not only doable without Eager Edge, but Eager Edge's ability to help players go out of bounds is basically unaffected. That's actually very true. You don't need Eager Edge to go out of bounds, as DMG mentioned in his tweet. It really doesn't help with that particular issue. You can still go out of bounds with a whole variety of other ways. The nerf has no impact in PvP, has unintended / nonsensical effects in PvE, and literally makes griefing worse, not better. The nerf does not address the most egregious parts, hopefully I said that right, of Eager Edge tech, namely shatter / well skating. Many players were still expecting a nerf for it. Yeah, it doesn't actually affect the most fast movement, which is shatter skating and well skating. Finally, it removes a harmless expression of player skill that dampens enthusiasm for the game among players who play the most, which I agree with the sentiment largely. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this entire article and with DMG's approach to handling the nerf to Eager Edge. A lot of people are upset about it. Some are not, though. Let me know if you are, which camp you're in, and make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. Keep you up to date on all the news. Smash the like button. See you in the next one. Later.